Chapter 14, The Cabin. You stand in Adrian's office, surrounded by cross-wielding vampires helping Nicole steal Adrian's serum. Now then, let's get this charade over with, shall we? Hand over the serum. Nicole, why? I know we had our differences, but I trusted you.
It hurts my heart. Yep.
Oh, if you trusted me so much, why haven't you turned me? Why did you lead me on? I never promised to turn you. No, but you knew I wanted it, and you wouldn't do it, no matter how hard I worked. Is that the only reason you worked for me? Of course not. I believed in your vision. I believed in this company. But I also believed in living forever, and every day you kept me mortal was a day that became less and less possible. And then this one came along. What didn't you do? You manipulated Adrian, got him to turn your idiot friend, let him down one bad road after another. For the first time, I saw Adrian for what it really is. Just another shallow, weak man easily manipulated by a pretty face. So I sought out someone stronger, someone who understands me, someone with the guts to do what it takes, packed be damned. Vega. Damn right, and when I told him about your sim, he was more than happy to help me with his plan. All this was to get the serum. Adrian certainly made it difficult having the researcher get their minds wiped by Jameson, making sure there was no hard copy of the formula. I knew I couldn't let it fall into the wrong hands. Exactly, which is why this all worked out so beautifully, don't you think? Vega gets the serum, I get turned, and you get what you've long had coming. And Lily was attacking her part of your plan? Actually, I had nothing to do with that. You and Adrian shall look. Nicole crosses his arms over her chest. We're done. Hand me the sim, or I'll order these men to shoot. Go, you're not getting away with this. Adrian can take you down in a heartbeat. Adrian, don't let her take it. Get her. The vampire guards all step forward, crossbows leveled at his chest. Or not. Take one step and you die. Last chance, boss man. The sim or the bolts. Neither. With a growl, Adrian jams the syringe into his arm. What are you doing? No. Instead of just one dose, Adrian injects the entire bell into his arm. Dozens of doses worth. What have you done? What I had to. He holds the empty injector aside. The serum's in my blood now. You wanted, you had to take me. And good luck with that. Adrian spins and grabs you, lifting you up into his arms. Up close you can see his face is flushed and his eyes are dilated. Adrian, hang on tight. And he turns and smashes through the window to your right. No! It doesn't both fire and miss, hitting the wall where you'd been standing. And suddenly you're weightless, hurtling through the night air, and destroys above street level. You land on an adjacent rooftop hard, Adrian's body taking the brunt of the blow. Adrian stumbles up, bleeding badly. Several of his bones are broken, jutting out through his skin. Why did you do that? Can't risk them getting the serum. He reaches down and you flinch as you watch him snap the bones in his leg back into place. Slowly the skin starts to heal over. But what will it do to you? Never taken this much, not sure. That doesn't sound good. It takes a deep breath, gritting his teeth through the pain. Should start to hit me in the next minute or two. Adrian. Back in the window of Adrian's office, the guards have gathered and reloaded. They fired the bolts hitting the ground just inches away. Move. Adrian tightens his grip on you and jumps from the building, grabbing onto a window washing scaffolding and riding it down to the ground. The three of you drive upstate in the darkness with Adrian remaining quiet except to give Kamala directions. He navigates you deeper and deeper into the woods, further from main roads, and eventually, we're almost out of gas. We'll stop and ditch the car. We'll go the rest of the way on foot. Are you sure you're up for that? Yes, I think I'm feeling better. If you're certain, I am. You get out of the car, nearly hidden behind heavy bushes. A dirt road leads you deep into the forest. From here we'll hike. Kind of crazy, but I definitely did not dress for hiking, didn't really dress for jumping out of a window either, but I noticed that Jack's people will stash some emergency bags in the trunk for us. Maybe there's nothing you can wear in there. He had the trunk and unzip a duffel bag to find. I'll stick with what I've got for now, if you insist. Just don't complain to me if it gets all muddy. The three of you trek deep into the woods, following the dirt road. And even though the sun is starting to rise in the distance, the first rosy rays cresting the horizon, Adrian seems to be getting better with each stride. Just farther dirt road is not far now. You're looking healthier. Yes, feeling it too. Whatever that was earlier, I think it's passing. Is the sun wearing off? No, just like that should be in my center for several days at least. It's more like my body's accumulated to it, adjusted, maybe even changed. That's good, right? It's good that I'm alive, yes, but it also means the serum is more complicated than I'd thought, potentially much more powerful. I thought it was suppressing the irregularities that make us vampires, but perhaps it was suppressing the defect that comes from dilution. You think it makes you more pure? Sorry, I'm not following this. Adrian takes a deep breath, hopping effortlessly over a fallen tree. Our vampires share the same immortal bloodline passed down from maker to maker, each subsequent generation is less pure than the one before. Each generation removed from the original has more weaknesses and impurities, and is more prone to becoming foul. So Lily is weaker than you, Adrian? That's right, and I'm weaker than my maker. He's far weaker than the purest vampire of all, the one that turned him. The rust vampire. The weakness to sunlight is one of those impurities. It's possible that's what the serum is suppressing. So the serum is making your blood more pure? It's just a theory. Tell me more about the first vampire. She's a myth, a story passed down to us from our maker about the woman who made him. She had all her strengths and none of her weaknesses. She could walk in the daylight, could survive the stake and the blade. She was as old as mankind, older maybe. She walked among the first civilizations who worshipped her like a goddess. It's her blood that runs in all of her veins. We're just pale shadows of what she was. Well, did you ever, meet her? No, by the time I was torn, she was just a legend. Sometimes I wonder how much of it was true, and how much it was just... He treads off, looking away into the trees in front of you. That serum can make you purer. It's far more dangerous than we thought. My sentiments exactly. In any case, we've arrived. There, hidden deep within the trees, is an old colonial-style house, straight out of a history book. Inside is a simple house from the 1700s, with exposed beams and a large hearth. It's in need of paint, but otherwise perfectly preserved. Just like I left it. Adrian, you never told me you had a house up here. It's sort of a personal retreat. I don't come here much anymore. But you tell me everything. A dark look crosses Adrian's face, something pained and haunted. No, not everything. Adrian, when were you last here? I check on it every 6 months to keep it maintained, but the last time I stayed here for some time was the 1950s. Wow. The Red Scare affected the vampire community as well. There were some in the government who saw us as a threat. Used the pretense of politics to threaten the council and everything we had built. When people go looking for enemies, no one is safe. History does have a nasty habit of repeating itself. I dealt with the threats, but I had to lie low for a while. Adrian wants his blood along. Adrian wants his hand along the giant wooden lintel above the hearth and smiles. This came from the oak tree that stood in this spot when I bought the property. The very day I bought it, lightning brought this tree crashing down. Look closely and you can see the bone marks. Yeah. This tree was probably 200 years old when it came down, and 200 more years spent as part of my home. He pauses his hand on the word of lost in memory. So this is a house from when you were mortal? Yes. No one knows about this place. We'll be safe here until we can figure out the next step. Now then, if no one minds, I think I'm going to lie down for a few minutes. Adrian goes into the other room. Kamala unpacks a bag of groceries. He really never told you about this? No, in truth, I'm impressed. Adrian's not one for keeping secrets. He says it makes him feel ill. Seems like this place has real meaning for him. Or it does, one of the strange powers of memory, I suppose. I've been alive for 2,000 years, but those first 30 years of my mortal life hold the most meaningful weight of all. Kamal opens a paper bag and takes out a few ingredients. This appears to be all Jackson's people managed to scrounge up. I think our choices are a cold cheese sandwich, or if you're feeling ambitious, a hot cheese sandwich. I think you mean grilled cheese. Call it what you like, you'll still have to build a fire to cook it. She gestures to the large open hearth and a cast iron pan. I think I'll have a grilled cheese. That's the spirit. You pull some dusty logs from a pile near the hearth and place them inside, under the metal cooking rack. Let's see, some tenders, some kind of flint, and no idea how to do this. You pull some small tinder sticks from a box, put them under the logs, and try to strike two of the flints together. Sparks fly out when you do, but the tinder doesn't catch. Kamala, you must have done this before. How did this work? Kamala takes the lighter out of her jacket and tosses it to you. Don't make things harder than they need to be. You light a fire and toast the bread and cheese. When you finally bite into it, it's the best grilled cheese you've ever had. Do you think Adrian might want some? Maybe go ask. Turn over your shoulder, mouth still half full of cheese and bread. Adrian wants some of them to eat. Charming, Amy. There's no answer. You share a concerned glance with Kamala, and the two of you hurry to the bedroom door to check on him. Adrian sits at a desk, staring at an old locket cradled in his hand. You move closer and see that each side contains an etching. On one side a woman, on the other child. Are they your... He doesn't answer, doesn't look up. You turn to Kamala, but she seems unequivocally unsure. I'm sorry, we didn't meant to disturb you. She starts to back out of the room, feeling you've intruded on something terribly personal. Kamala whispers to you. His past, this part, he never even shared it with me. We shall leave him be. The story should be told. You and Kamala freeze in the doorway, waiting for him to go on. Then tell us. Adrian. This is my home when I was immortal. I lived here with my wife. We lived here a short time, but we'd only been married 2 years. Life wasn't always easy, but it was happy. We had a purpose and love and a beautiful baby boy. What was your wife's name? Eleanor. She liked to sing and had a sharp wit. She suffered no fools, and when she smiled, it was like the whole world lit up. He smiles at the locket. And your son? His expression sobers to just a little. Though he still smiles, he's clearly now somewhere else. Charles, he was 18 months old and had perhaps cried half a dozen times his entire life. Always in his mother's arms, always laughing. Even now, 200 years later, I still remember his laugh. Oh. I was home from the war. I had taken a musket ball to the lake and was sent back to recuperate. Eleanor was caring for me and Charles. He brought me so much joy, even in my pain. His expression darkens. That night there was a crescent moon in the sky. Eleanor went out for water and found more than she bargained for. A vampire? No, a human, a wounded traveler begging for help. She brought him inside to give him comfort and a place to rest, because that's the sort of woman she was. She made him a bed by the fire, but in the middle of the night there was a terrible commotion. He pauses, his emotions getting ahead of him. I don't know what happened, but by the time I made it down, he went through Eleanor with his bayonet and a little Charles. Adrian. His breath hitches in his throat as he struggles to press forward. He came for me next. We fought. He stabbed me right in the chest, and I smacked his head open against the fireplace. Good. It was too late for Eleanor. Charles was alive for just another moment. I held him, my beautiful boy. I held him as he died. Oh my God. I was badly wounded, but I was ready to die to join my family in eternity. And then he found me. Gaius. Your name rings the faintest bell, something distant and nagging at the back of your mind of tapestry. He gave me life, immortality, but my family was already gone. Adrian stops, carefully tucks the locket into a small desk drawer, his face turned away. I'm sorry, Adrian. You move next to him, putting your arms around him. Kamala watches sadder than you've ever seen her. Thank you for telling us. Yes, thank you. Aiden sighs deeply, patting your arm. It's almost dawn. We should put the shades down and get some rest. I'll sleep in the bedroom, and there's an extra bed wall here that's more comfortable than it looks. Kamala unrolls the bed wall, which looks like a colonial futon. I've certainly slept on worse. She picks it up to carry it to the main room. It would be cold over here without central heating. Amy, where will you be? By the fire. As you wish. Adrian retires to the bedroom and you help Kamala stoke the fire. We'll be okay here, right? Yes, he never even told me about this place. We're completely off the map. You pull a walking chair up close to the fire and wrap a blanket around yourself. Kamala lies down on the bedroll and pulls a handmade kilt over herself. Good night, Kamala. Good night, Amy. You gently walk your chair and drift to sleep in front of the warm crackle and glow of the fire. Yet even as you nod off, you can't help but think of Adrian's face as he held the locket. You nod off, sleeping through the day. And awake as sunset the next night. Soon you, Adrian, and Kamala sit by the fire enjoying some improvised toast and coffee. Outside it's dark, the sun has just set. I don't suppose there's any milk for the coffee, so I will buffin it. Pretend you're camping. I don't do camping. You smell her, but suddenly a loud horn blares outside. What? I don't like this. I'll hide. You instinctively rid your body as far under an adjacent table as possible. Headlights from outside sweep the room. What's going on? Adrian and Kamala are already assessing the scene. An 18-wheeler sits outside the cabin, wobbling heavily. And in the cockpit. Adrian, come out and play. Vega, Nicole. They found us. Surprised to see us? You didn't think you could hide from me, did you? Now come on out, old friend. I believe you have something that's mine.